So the other day I was at the beach when I saw a turtle man crawl out, and he thinks I'm the one that's been throwing trash. I have not been throwing trash, but he thinks I
Was it
have been,
was it
and so he
Safi?
starts throwing. Huh?
Was it Safi? Was it Safi throwing the trash? I mean.
I confirm, deny that.
Also, we're live.
Oh, hi everyone.
Watch as I fumble around trying to activate the infinite health code again.
Baseman, give him your hammer.
It's not even a policeman.
Hmm.
I wish I could hear the rest of that joke.
Yeah, me too.
Like that's the one downside is with recording the game is sometimes the audio just kind of it's not that it cuts out, it's the way I record the way I have my games or I record gameplay. um Sometimes the audio is perfectly leveled, other times it is really quiet.
Have you considered subtitles, good sir?
That would require me actually being able to hear what they said in the first place. That being said, I probably will put subtitles. I don't want to because it was a pain in the ass just to do that for Sly Cooper. Um, I am half tempted to put subtitles up for the main cutscenes. It just, I know it's going to be a pain in the ass to do so. So, I'm going to assume, Rumpy, you've never tried the Futurama video game.
Nope.
I will say this, if you... I hate that death. I will say this, that it's worth, if you want to try it, either try it on like a mod PS2 or try it on an emulator.
I'll have to try it sometime.
Yeah, because I don't want to say, I kept mentioning like this game is not worth $200, and the only reason it's $200 is because it's just a rare game. Um, but it's not that the game's not worth trying. If you're a fan of Futurama, I definitely say try like at least try the game because it is fun. It's just it's the game gets way too difficult for its own good.
Hmm.
Um, that being said, have you played any of the Simpsons games?
I played Road Rage, Hit and Run, and the Simpsons game.
I played the Game Boy Advance version of Road Rage.
Ah.
Which that game, the Game Boy Advance version is so weird. I mean, it's still Crazy Taxi, but it's just weird how it's set up. I remember it being fun. But it's been ages. Um, I also played the Simpsons game. I remember playing the DS version of the Simpsons game, which is a 2D platformer instead of a 3D platformer. And a couple years ago, a couple years ago, a one of my brother-in-laws gave me his old Wii copy of Simpsons game, and it's fun. I'm sad that that's the last actual console game. I'm sad that's the last actual console game, and the only Simpsons game we've had since then is fucking generic city builder mobile game number 572. Which is even stranger because apparently that mobile game at one point had a fucking battle royale mode, and I wonder how you make a battle royale mode out of a fucking city builder game.
Mm.
You know what I like?
But
Money.
but yeah, no, it just really saddens me that EA has owned the rights to do Simpsons games. Like they signed up to do 3 Simpsons games, and technically they only ever did 2, and
That sucks.
they have not actually made it another. It's even worse because apparently there was an actual sequel to the Simpsons game planned.
Aw.
Yeah, but no, because it's EA, and EA is shitty
A,
shitty
a blight on
company.
us all.
Yeah, blight on Snall. Because it's EA that owns the rights, they of course haven't done anything with it. Also, if you hear squealing, that is my 3.5-year-old nephew running around.
Yeah.
So I am sorry if that comes up on mic, but at the same time, I can't stop that.
Sure you can. You just get a shoe and... Robbie, I want to continue. But I was just... Robbie, I'm your lawyer. Don't do it. Okay.
Plus, I don't want to make things worse.
You gave that advice. That's usually the thing I would do.
Oh,
Eh?
yeah. I think we got our roles mixed up.
Anyway. Also, so did you know that this actually? Oh, also, pretty much the only cameo we get of Zap Brannigan.
Join the army. What are you, chicken? Buck, buck, buck. Brilliant. Brilliant recruiting strategy.
Um, so this game actually was originally meant to get
Old New York. Over there is where I first got mugged.
Mm.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure that the audience could hear that line. This game was originally meant to get a GameCube port, and that version was canceled, but apparently in one of the gameplay trailers of this game, we have footage of that version.
Free ammo.
You know, despite the fact that it's extremely hard to tell that it's actually the GameCube version because the gameplay just looks like, you know, every other fucking version.
Hmm.
I don't know how people were able to pinpoint that it was the GameCube version in that footage.
Always stealing from
Maybe it's something with the resolution. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? That being said, though, speaking of canceled games based on properties, apparently we actually found someone actually found the files for the Lost Food Fight video game.
I heard. Oh no.
Which I am more upset that there's not a playable build. Like even if the game sucked, I would have wanted to see how that game played. Because this was 2006 ish, and it was an earlier draft before, you know, Food Fight became what it was. So I'm wondering if completed, it would have been at least a halfway decent game. Like we got a gameplay pitch video that was released by the company. Because the person who shared the files, which you can download on archive.org, the person who shared the files also had also shared a gameplay pitch video And from that pitch video, it doesn't look like it would have been terrible. I mean, the game probably would have been just a generic license game had it been released, but it honestly doesn't look bad. I mean, to be fair, it is also based on Food Fight, and it would have it's probably a situation of it would still be linked to a shitty movie, but who knows? Maybe that game could have come out and we could have had a situation like the X-Men Origins Wolverine game where it's actually better than the movie. Which genuinely that still surprises me that we have had a situation of we've had situations of licensed games where the game is based on it, the game can't think. The game is actually better than the property it's based off of. Because everyone points to X-Men Origins Wolverine, but Rumpy, can you think of an example where a game has actually been better than the movie it was based on, other than X-Men Origins?
Hey, lost you there for a minute.
Can you think of a game other than X-Men Origins where the game is actually better than the movie?
Give me a minute. I need to ponder on this one. Yeah, I need a minute. I can't really ponder this one.
I mean, there's not really a lot of games that I would think of that way. Because usually when I think of licensed games, most of them just kind of suck. Which is why a lot of licensed games no longer exist.
Well, I just found a list from Den of Geek about what you're looking for.
I'm as rich as the Pope.
What do they have listed?
We got Alien 3 for Genesis and the SNES.
Oh yeah, no, that game is pretty good. Although to be fair, I still genuinely like Alien 3. Like I genuinely like that movie. That being said, out of like the first 3 Alien films, it is one of the weaker. I know at some point I mentioned the Nibblers. But yeah, it's the weakest out of the original trilogy, but I would still prefer it over Resurrection. What else do they have listed?
We've got X versus Sever on Game Boy Advance.
A game that actually, you know what? That is an example of a movie getting 2 video game adaptations. Because the first one came out before the movie was even released, and then the second one came out when the movie released, and both of them are still better than the movie. I've actually played both X versus Sever games, and they are genuinely enjoyable first-person shooters for the Game Boy Advance.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that all you
All right,
got?
hang on. I'm gonna look up this list myself. You said it was Den of Geek.
Yeah.
Gamer. I'm sorry we're not talking. I'm trying to find the I'm trying to find the list. Yeah, there's Alien 3, there's X versus Sever. Some of All Fears. I actually forgot that I forgot that movie had a game adaptation.
Huh.
Lottery tickets, here I come.
Gonna be honest, I forgot that movie existed. I love they have one of the games they have listed is Spider-Man 2. Like the Spider-Man 2 movie game, and I'm like, people say that's better than the movie? Like I know people consider that as one of genuinely the best movie games of all time and one of the best Spider-Man games, but really better than the movie? Willow NES, Dune 2 PC, which yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, point of the realm.
Because that would have been eons before the recent Dune movies, which the recent Dune movies, both parts are genuinely a damn good adaptation of that story. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, that's another one that makes a lot of sense. Episode 1 Racer, just in general, is a good game. Like it's not even like it's better than Episode 1. It's like that's just a good Star Wars racing game. And a lot of people actually I feel forget about this. That game had a sequel, which was Star Wars Racer's
Well,
Revenge,
fine.
which was on PlayStation 2, and I own a copy. I don't own a copy on PlayStation 2. They re-released it on PlayStation 4 and 5, and I have it on. I remember getting that on PS4. It's a good sequel. Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. Yeah, that's one that I'm not surprised. Friday the 13th, the game on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Switch. That was. I actually remember that game. Playing that game before
Know what
the
I like?
servers went
Plenty.
down, and yeah, no. The Friday the 13th game is generally a fun game.
I never got to play it.
You can still download, like, purchase the game and play it. You just won't be able to play it online, so you'll have to play it with bots. But even playing with bots, the game is actually fun. I mean, the one of the more fun ways to experience that game is specifically experiencing it as Jason, because playing as Jason, first off, you can completely customize which Jason you want, and one of the customization options is to have an outfit for Jason that looks like having an outfit for Jason that
Alright.
looks like how he looked
Come and get
in
some.
the Friday the 13th NES game, and I just love that reference.
Uh,
It's fucking beautiful.
yes, Purple Man Jason.
Oh yeah, complete with the blue hockey mask. Which if I ever dressed up as Jason Voorhees for Halloween, I would specifically do the NES version. There'll be a lot of people like, oh, that's stupid. It's like I don't fucking care. It's funny. But yeah, no, the game itself is genuinely fun, and it's funnier to me because the people who worked on that one, um, they were working on a Chucky game that ended up getting canceled because that one was being funded on that one was being funded on Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter funding did not meet its goal, so they weren't able to release it. The prototype version of the Chucky game was found, I think, last year, and you could boot it up in an emulator, or if you have a modded Xbox, I think it's Xbox 360, you could play the game. It's kind of interesting that that company tried making two games based on slasher franchises. One of the other games in this list is the RoboCop 3 for the Amiga. I liked that movie. I'm also sad that that is also the only RoboCop movie that I own a copy of.
Hmm.
It is not the best. It is not, like, genuinely the best RoboCop movie is the original. But
Yep.
I liked RoboCop 3. However, you're also talking to someone who also liked the RoboCop remake.
Saw that. I didn't care for that.
For me, the RoboCop remake was okay. But it definitely, like, yeah, you're better off just watching the original. I mean, it doesn't help that you remake a hardcore rated R property and turn it into PG-13, which granted was also a problem with RoboCop 3, but RoboCop 3 I feel actually was able to do okay, we're at the end
Reach
of
the end of the part.
Yeah, we're at the end of the part, but I'm gonna finish my train of thought real quick. Anyway, RoboCop 3 actually was able to do the PG-13, like do a PG version of RoboCop and still make it enjoyable. The RoboCop remake is just bad. Like, I like it, but it's not good.